am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more. Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death. It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider. The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation, so that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners. So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time. When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land. But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know, for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous. When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
About what's in the top left and how steam's how I have that turned on so I can see. God damn, I hate myself. But hey, at least you guys get to listen to the story. I was fucking to read all the special shit too, and it's still just like, read your mic, dumbass. One thing I was saying earlier, Tom, is God, it's very softly. Give me a second. I can wait for you all night, Tom. I got a cup full of coffee and I'm ready to go. Alright, I'll keep the voiceovers pretty high. Just because that's necessary. And yes, I did just fucking turn it down a lot. Or the ambient noise down a lot. I don't care. The ambient noise is gonna be my chair. But yeah, no, Tom, I've been drinking coffee for quite some time now. I've upgraded to Death Wish coffee, the world's strongest coffee. This video is not sponsored by any way. I just wanted to give them a try. And they're good.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
So I'm guessing this is literally just a visual version of, or a visual novel version of the story Dagon. There's no special
Nor were
shit.
there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Yeah, because gamer, I don't think you're in the same universe you're used to anymore. It's dead fishy. Anything else? Nope. Actually. Yeah, nah. Nothing.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Okay, now that I think about it, it's actually pretty wise that he hid in the boat just for the shade. Anything special at all for story? No.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Great. Cool.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
You don't know how this motherfucker could sleep at all. This motherfucker didn't pack a blanket or anything. I need my fucking 50 pound. Give me a second to look up the conversion for that. Oh, Jesus. There we go. But I have don't understand how this, I mean, of course it's all a story and all that, but I know I personally wouldn't be able to sleep if I was stuck in that situation, because I need to have my 50 pound or 22.68 kilogram weighted blanket on me. And so I can sleep. Holy hell. I cannot sleep without it. Even without that, just some sort of blanket. Like, it'd be awful to sleep in slightly wet or fucking damp ass ground. Just fucking sleep in damp ass ground with no blanket. You gotta be cold as shit, my dude. Oh, okay. Big. Anything else? Yeah, because sometimes the old things will give you like background story of either the game or just the item in general. Oh jeez. Zoom in. Slow ass computer. I can say
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
As I was saying, I fucking love the mouse I'm using because there's a little fucking thing I can hold on this on the side to lower down my DPI. I mean, I have the buttons to do it, but it lowers it down just enough for slight and subtle movement, for which on most use would come with like shooting games and shit like that, but I don't use mouse and keyboard at all. Like, my left hand is not good with WASD. Question, is this free? I know I got it for free, Tom, because my web browser pointed out to me, which is Opera GX, but I don't know if it's going to be free forever or if it's still free, but if you want to look it up, feel free to. Because I wouldn't be at all surprised if this was just free. And that sound you're hearing in the background is a mini fridge going on.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
So, one thing I don't want to skip over here entirely is this motherfucker said on the 3rd day, which means he's been sleeping in this goddamn boat for 3 days. God, that's gotta be awful. At least he had food and water, but he still also has to walk. Give me a second to look over this shit again. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, this is definitely worse than Fallout right now. Because Fallout, well, I'm okay with it. Well, it runs shitty ass frame rate. That's because I have a shit ton of mods installed.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling.
Oh wait, right. This is a H.P. Lovecraft. Alright, man. I forgot this is an H.P. Lovecraft story. Nothing exactly makes any fucking sense. The only thing that makes sense in H.P. Lovecraft is nothing. Nothing makes sense. It's all fictional. Just like the Bible. Yes, it did. I did just fucking call out fucking Christianity on that. I don't care. There's just a whale sitting here. I think this was an ocean once upon a time. I thought Tom is asking if this is for, like,
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
I mean, Tom, you're basically getting the story just from watching this. Though, I wouldn't be at all surprised if, you know, because there is definitely horror lovers out there who just want to just replay this, just to listen to the story. Or maybe get better FPS. This is absolutely atrocious.
base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Just like I said, Tom, afterwards, if you download this yourself, you can get the full 60 frames per second version of this. And yeah, Tom, this game does, or the story does support a full 60 frames per second.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
God, you gotta be fucking cold there.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain.
What the fuck does gibbous mean? Because I know for 100% fact it's not what I'm fucking thinking, which is the Gibby meme from iCarly. Gibby! It's 100% not that shit.
I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Good for you, bud. Hopefully you have the correct climbing equipment. Just continuing on. Is there literally anything else I can click? No secrets or anything? Oh jeez. No.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
Why do I feel like this is what... You could just mix this shit with fucking Mad Max, like this is what's across the Plains of Silence. Here's just some weird shit out there if you make it there. There's some weird fuck shit out there. Don't do it.
Whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world.
Take that, flat earthers.
Peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
This is the flat earth. Flat earth conspiracy confirmed.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost.
So I can't play horror games. I joke around way too fucking much.
And of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
These are rocks, yes. You just want me to click on the darkness? Up into the world we go,
Ledges
okay?
and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Sorry, fairly easy? I feel like that would get annoying after a while. Just constant little drops. Okay, it's still free. Cool.
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Well, if you guys don't want to see a complete shit version of this game running at extremely low FPS, hi Tom, you're on stream now. Everyone can see you're playing balloons. Either way, but if you don't want to see this game at such a low, or if you don't want to experience this in such a low frame rate, and you do have a really good computer, or at least a computer at least somewhat generalized towards the gaming market, not just literally bought off of a place, a very high, or a decently high-end place that, for legal reasons I cannot say. Yeah, you popped up from the street, Tom. LaMau. But you guys can give this a shot. All you have to do is go to the Steam page or whatever game launcher you use. Type in dagon. It's literally in the title. You can guess this. You can look at the spelling there. Or hey, maybe you don't even have to fucking watch this shit show and just listen. I'm sorry. Now, before we go into the depths a bit further, just one simple thing. What the fuck is that? Why does it look like a stingray? Like, am I about to go charging down their head first to avenge Steve? And shut the fuck up, dog. It's a horror night.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath,
I don't like this.
gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
What the fuck is Stygian Deeps? Guessing that's something in the mythos, but still, I don't like this.
All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
I don't like that cube. Actually, I'm gonna make it spookier in here for me. I know you guys can't see because I don't have a camera on, or I don't have a camera for my computer, but I'm turning the lights off. Let's make that shit spoopy.
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
I swear to God, if there's a jump scare, I'm gonna lose my shit. You can hear me scream like a bitch again. I don't want to say again, like, I feel like OGs only know the first time I really screamed like a bitch during a live stream. I had good purpose to do that. It was fucking Resident Evil 7 in VR. Like, that shit was awful. Oh, I don't like the sound of wet slushies. Tom,
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Right. Tom, are you saying Mal over the fact that I may scream, or are you remembering when I screamed back in Resident Evil 7? Now, either way. Now back to the game. He says, oh, it's merely a gigantic piece of stone. But I, as well as pretty sure 99% of anybody who watches this, and let's say 99 because you can't be 100% certain, knows horror, especially fucking this, or either way, basically everybody in chat knows horror, and definitely knows Lovecraftian horror. Like, why do I have a feeling this is not a fucking piece of stone, but instead an eldritch abomination? Oh, that was a little mouth from you popping up on screen. Hey, I'm just stupid, I forgot.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
What did I just fucking say? I knew it.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Horror, boo, oh fucking no. Don't walk closer to the rock. Oh god, I'm walking closer to the rock. I don't want an autograph from Dwayne. Please, can I just walk the other direction? I can't turn that far. Fuck.
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young.
Okay, so this is the bottom of the sea, but without the water.
I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
I'm pretty sure anybody with eyes can tell that's a fucking monolith there, champ. And I know this is basically just taking word for word from the story itself. And he has to include these types of and he has to include these sentences and shit like that. So people that are reading can get an accurate picture in their head. But you can kind of remove that once you're in like a video game and you can see that shit.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
Maybe it's the Planet of the Apes all over again.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing fucking here, champ. Besides some more rocks. Why do I have a feeling this whole entire story was written around like the premise of the Mariana Trench? Because we don't even know what's at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Besides some weird fucking animals. Some fish. Some weird motherfucking looking fish.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith. On whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
How? And why? Are there things written on this fucking monolith? Don't. Oh, you son of a bitch. I don't want to, game. I just want to fuck off back to my boat and just live the rest of my days in peace.
writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books. Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
Animals. Oh god, I can already see where this is going. Alright, so basically it's just showing that some deity either created Cthulhu, or that's just Cthulhu hunched over for some reason. And Cthulhu, or that deity, who fucking knows, created all of the fucking life on this planet. Though, anyone who has read, anyone who's more up to scratch on H.P. Lovecraft's stories and all that, and by that I specifically mean my brother, the one I don't usually talk about on this channel, not Cog, but the other one. He is huge into H.P. Lovecraft, so he would definitely understand this shit a lot better than I would, and also probably enjoy it way further than I would. Not saying I don't enjoy this, but I always love a good visual novel. He's been a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft's for a long time.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Yeah, because Mariana Trench is pretty fucking deep, my dude.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
The circles to continue on, the question marks, just learn more shit. Storytelling methods. Woo! Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City. Now, here, I'll finish reading this off first before I do anything else. Journals and character notes, The Shadow of Time, and The Haunter of the Dark. Islands emerging from the ocean, The Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies. Migo and the Whisperer in Darkness. It is also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Now, my brother, the one that will not be named because I don't know what he wishes to be called on the internet, and I feel like using his name is just a bit much for privacy concerns, of course. Not that I don't love him. Like, he's my brother. Of course I love him. He's awesome. He's a huge war buff and Cthulhu fan. Well, not Cthulhu fan. He's just a gigantic horror movie buff. Anything horror, he loves it. And that's one reason why I downloaded this game and am doing this live stream. But yeah, he loves this shit. Either way. But Lovecraftian stories have definitely made their impact into in just general life as it is has made an absolutely ginormous impact, especially in video games, other books, movies, such as that, or other forms of media. Like, for instance, the Nameless City is not referenced directly in Fallout 4 specifically, not referenced directly, but it does take slight little hints, because the Lovecraftian mythos, for those who do not know, is 100% canon in the Fallout mythos. So, and one of the side missions you can get in Fallout 4 is this dude who gets like this all-knowing crown from aliens in a city buried deep in the desert, which is the Nameless City. And there's a whole bunch of other little nods in the Fallout, or in Bethesda's Fallout 3 and 4, which I'm not including 76, even though there is. 76 is just awful. Let's not worry about that. But there is a lot of references to the Lovecraftian mythos. Oh, actually, pretty sure up there on my desk, you guys can't see, but I'm pointing to my left. But up there, I'm pretty sure I still have my brother's copy of the Call of Cthulhu, the one that came on the original Xbox.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré.
The fuck is a doré? Oh well.
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain
certain sort of men. Sorry, I clicked again. Because nerve damage.
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
Now, just from that depiction alone, of just what I'm seeing right there, fish that kind of look like men, kind of don't, you can slightly deprive. Now, this is, of course, me going on off on a tangent, of course. But I personally feel like you could somehow make a connection between those drawings right there and mermaids. Like, those drawings could connect to some form of mermaid, but you could also connect it to Subnautica, weirdly enough. Not by much, but somewhat, I believe.
Or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
Okay, so this story is written in as a sort of... Okay. But this story is kind of written in a fashion to where this person is recalling this story. So this person has lived through it and they're recalling this story.
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
There's, I'm guessing, 2 references to other artists. Of course, Poe being fucking Chris, can't remember his name. I don't remember his first name. God damn it. But, you know, Poe, as in the famous author who wrote The Raven and all that. I'm not sure about Bulwer.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
What the fuck? Twitch, shut the fuck up. Oh, Soul Alive. Yeah, I'll watch him after this.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
No, you can get all that. Oh, that's how.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Oh, that's... Okay, that actually makes it terrifying if they were that big. Holy fuck.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Shows me if it's playing through this, they are not imaginative.
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
I don't think they're gone. I think they're mainly just sleeping. I can't even look up all the way. God damn it, I want to see how huge this fucking monolith is.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
I'm pretty sure if an anthropologist saw or discovered this monolith, they would fucking go insane. And yes, this is written in very old-timey English. So when he uses the word queer, he means, in this context, he means weird, quite odd, strange, so on and so forth.
Then, suddenly, I saw it.
Yep. Let me guess. No? Damn, that really would have been perfect fucking timing to just look to your right or left just to see the motherfucker standing.
With only
terrifying.
A slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh, it's right there. Yep. I see it now.
Vast, Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for anyone watching this, especially with headphones in. That must have scared the absolute shit out of you. For some reason, my controller is vibrating. Oh, now my controller wants to fucking work with this shit. Zoom in. Look at that booty. Yeah, when it started, my controller was just like, I don't want to work with this shit. Now it does. And I'm sorry, that was my controller's vibration on the desk. That must have scared some people. Yeah, that motherfucker.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
I suppose now you don't have to listen to the loud clicking of my mice anymore.
I think I went mad then.
Yeah, I would. Pretty sure the event would drive literally anybody fucking mad.
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
See, now, I feel like that part right there would actually make a wonderful chase sequence. If the developer somehow watches this video. If he does, I'm... Could you fucking not... You know, sorry, not you guys. I have a mouse in my room. I wish you'd fucking stop. Either way. But I feel like that would make a wonderful part to, like, play some sort of, like, even if you don't want to, you know, do controls and all that and set it up as, like, runny, scary, all that shit. You don't have to. But I feel like that right there, the frantic ascent, would be a wonderful part to play, like, to have, like, some sort of cutscene or something to where it actually shows the main character running and slipping off of the ocean floor. Yeah, and running away from that fucking thing. I feel like that'd be great for horror. Running, climbing, all that. Be absolutely fantastic. Maybe. Wait a minute. Oh, I just realized something. This is the VR game they were talking about. Sorry, one thing I was... With the Keymailer website I'm using, they said I had like one VR eligible game. It's this. I have a feeling it's this fucking shit.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Yeah, he's going fucking sing. This man's just losing his fucking mind. Hey, Will. How you doing? Okay. Nothing. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I just got chilled down my fucking back. Sorry, that the fucking rain actually sounds super fucking realistic, and that actually sent chills down my spine.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
I feel like you should get the fuck out of here, my dude. If there's a great storm, you should hop back on the boat and wait for the ocean to refill itself.
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Peals of thunder? Never heard that one. Like, you should dig your boat out of the fucking ground and just sit in that bitch, because if this is really bad weather, that boat might just float again. Yeah, Blake's boat's fucking gone.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
I just realized this could have been a fucking sunstroke on a boat.
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Yeah, fucking thought.
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
There's gotta be... There's gotta be something here for me to look at to get some backstory on. Give me 1 second, I'm messaging someone. Alright, my man. Alright, Tom, I hope you do well at school. Remember, even if you do have me on as a podcast in the background, I do want you to actually, focus on school. I want to hear and see you do well in school. I want the best for you guys. Even if that means I don't get that many views, I don't care. I want what's best for you. I want you guys to thrive. Emotionally, physically, and every aspect of that, to be completely honest. I really do care about you guys.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Coffee down. Oh hey, that is the thing I can look at. I guess I just have to wait till it's, fucking done. Or till that part of the story goes by. Either way. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary. Ugh. Miss me with that gay shit. I don't fuck with socials. Sorry, not social. I don't fuck with that political shit. It's all just a giant fucking shit show, especially here in the US. Either way. Poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard, yes, that was his first name, Howard Lovecraft. Or H.P. Lovecraft. Howard whatever Lovecraft, I don't know his middle name. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in his decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments, and at the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is, or can never be above warfare, till the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Yeah. Well, that's at least something I'd like to strive for. If I ever have children, that's what I'll be teaching them, is the ways of peace. And, hell, maybe even you guys actually listen and believe my thing all that much. But I feel like we should believe in peace more often. But believe in peace, or be peaceful, but be prepared for any conquest like that. Just press X. Okay. But be prepared. Be peaceful, but always be prepared for war. This world's a terrible fucking place. But most we have is basically friends to help us through it. I don't know how the fuck I just opened that door up with my mind powers, but alright.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist.
The fuck is the ethnologist?
And amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon, actually pronounced Dagon, I don't know, either way, was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in a Syrian poem and an underworld prisoner warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He's often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Well, this is a fucking trip. Oh, there it is, to my right.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
A book. Full. August, however you want. I don't know why the fuck I pronounced it so weirdly the first time. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's work after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was also a devout Catholic. Ugh. feel like we'd solve so many fucking issues. Like, so many fucking wars, so many fucking issues if we just got rid of religion. Like, holy shit. To the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with the Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology. The term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Honestly, my brother would fucking love this. Like I said before, he's a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. Here's the continue. Right. Well, that's a nice bust. Okay, but why am I taking such an odd pattern? Am I literally just walking around looking at this guy's office like, hey, this is some nice shit you got here? That's just a little bit of light. Oh, could never be too certain, I suppose. Trying to get like as much of the nitty-gritty stuff as I can, all the little secrets.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
The thing?
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Well, that's not good. You should never do that. Right. Give me just one moment, everyone. Sorry. Very interesting, this. I'm just now getting to the comments because I'm focusing on doing this and also messaging a person, but that's secret hush-hush personal shit. So, but, yeah. Tom, here, before, like, if you are really interested, and this goes for anyone in the chat in the future, anything like that, if you are actually really interested in reading some of H.P. Lovecraft's works, let me contact my brother, the one I've not named, the one that's a huge fan of this, and let me get, through his opinion, what he thinks, like, a new person's media, like, first book should be read and all that, to get a better understanding. But I'll be right back. Right, I'm back, everyone. Sorry, I had to get some food for my sister because she's stoned out of her gourd. Going back to reading this. Oh, stop doing that. There we go. Lovecraft hated tobacco. Well, he wouldn't like me then, because I just got done smoking a cigarette. Even though he used to smoke when he was 12, in order to look and feel like an adult. In correspondence with his friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. Okay. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th of February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor, and never intend to, having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate, natural... I'm not even fucking sure how to pronounce that word. The delicate natural balance of human intellect and imagination. I'm not even gonna fucking try to pronounce it. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition. The prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as of any other source. The Spirit of Revision, Lovecraft's letters to Zelia Brown, Reed Bishop, H.P. Lovecraft, Sean Branney, and Andrew Lemon, S.T. Joshi. So that boy about to drink himself to death.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Oh no. I don't like that. I'm guessing those are warships. At least please tell me they are. Yeah, no problem, Tom.
The end is near.
Just 1 second, everyone. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like that at all. Why am I hearing footsteps? I don't like this. I don't want it. No. Either way. Tom, if you can... Wait a minute. I just realized I'll probably message you through Discord. And if any of you guys are watching in the future who haven't joined into the Discord or the Next War family, I politely ask that you do. I stream. I don't have a schedule. I don't have a schedule for streaming. I'm sorry about that. This is just my hobby, and I just kind of do it whenever I feel to. And right now I've been slightly focused because I may be moving houses soon, so I'm just kind of disassembling a whole bunch of my shit. Like, I don't even have my camera hooked up on my PlayStation. But I sometimes stream, but if you guys do want to subscribe, make sure to join into the Discord. We all talk there. Even when I'm not streaming, I'm usually active, or I'm always active on Discord, because I have the app on my phone, I have it downloaded to my computer, and I respond to messages quite frequently on there. But yeah, I'll contact you through there, Dom.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
I don't want to open that door. Can I just leave? And by leave, I meant go hide. Please? I don't want to open that door. Or turn around and there's a jump scare. Please. No. Please
It
don't.
shall not find me.
This is a very small room. You don't have many places to hide, champ. Oh, this isn't good. Please don't.
God, that hand!
What hand? I don't see a hand. Oh, no, I see a hand. And it's gone again. Please don't.
The window! The window!
That was a painting. What window? I can't look left or right, you fuck. Now I can. Cool. It's gonna be in the window, isn't it? Or am I... Oh no, I'm escaping through the window. Cool. That must hurt. Oh no, that was the end. Yes, well, while this game does have DLC, I can't afford this. Oh. So that's it for that. And immediately jumps back up to 60 frames again. Fuck you, game. Fuck you, computer. Continue storage trivia. Stay up to date. Oh. Suppose that'll be the end of that. I can retitle this to the entire game. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching this slight little bit. Or this short episode, stream, whatever. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. And I will catch you guys next time. And Tom, and of course everybody in chat. Well, Tom's the only one in chat right now, but to Tom and anybody who watches in the future, I hope you have an absolutely excellent day. Remember, worry about your mental health. It's something that should actually be, you should take concern on. And remember to keep up those studies. Love you guys. You guys have a good one.